Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Thanks for joining me on my YouTube channel where we do a daily crossword puzzle. On Tuesdays we do a cryptic crossword, which is my own attempt to learn cryptic crosswords. I got into crosswords in general through the New York Times crossword puzzle, which I started doing when I was in college and have been doing for most of my life regularly. So I feel like that's become, I'm pretty familiar with the conventions and styles of the New York Times crossword. Cryptic crosswords are a kind of new thing to me. I got into cryptics through the YouTube channel Cracking the Cryptic, which I started watching during the pandemic and have been a regular follower of ever since. So I try and teach myself cryptics by doing this puzzle, which is posted every Saturday on theglobeandmail.com. It is a Canadian crossword, so the English is a little bit closer to what I'm used to as an American. And I also do the Minute Cryptic every day. I do a lot of British cryptics online, like the Independent and the Guardian. The Weekender Cryptic is kind of in my wheelhouse. I do pretty well with it, although I usually do require a few hints at the end in order to complete it. About a month ago, I think I was able to do it with no hints. We'll see how it goes today. I'm hoping I'll be able to get it completed with no reveals, but let's find out. One across is saying reflected in various pubs. Can I move the screen a little bit to get it? There we go. Now we can see the timer. All right, saying reflected in various pubs. 7 and 2. That means we need two words, a 7-letter word and a 2-letter word. So reflected is probably a reversal indicator. So I think we're taking some letters from various pubs in reverse order, and we're going to get a saying. And I'm not seeing that. Okay, we'll have to come back to that. 6 across is overly formal around a king of Troy. Priam was the king of Troy in the Iliad. Overly formal. Prim, yeah. So if you're new to cryptics, we need to split the clue somewhere into two parts. One side will be a standard crossword definition. The other side will be wordplay. So here I think we split the clue after the letter A. So king of Troy is our crossword definition, and the wordplay is overly formal, prim, around A, and we get Priam, the king of Troy. 9 across, a dog star, literally smooth and white. Sirius is the dog star. A, because it begins with an A, I think we're going to use that letter A. So if it were like A, and then rather than Sirius for the dog star, we probably have a need for a word, a synonym for dog, and then a name for a star. And maybe our definition could be literally smooth and white. White, there's like alabaster. A dog is a lab. And aster is the Greek or Latin word for star. I think it might be Greek. Okay, so a star literally, maybe aster is star literally, or an aster flower is literally a star. Maybe that's what it's getting at. But we get alabaster, which means smooth and white. 10 across, scream after one escapes ogre. My guess is that we're looking for a 5-letter synonym for... No, that's I think I'm wrong there. I think we're looking for a 6-letter word for scream. The Roman numeral 1, an I, is going to escape it, and we're going to get a 5-letter synonym for ogre. Or it could be the other way around. One could escape ogre, a 6-letter synonym for ogre, and then we get a 5-letter synonym for scream as our answer. So what's a word that for either scream or ogre that would have an I in it that could escape? Ogre, nope, not getting that. 11 across, bald youngster finally broke end of shoelace. The end of shoelace is an aglet. E-G-L-E-T. But that's probably not the answer. End of shoelace could be the letter E, the final letter of shoelace. Bald youngster, does that mean to remove the Y from youngster, or maybe a synonym from youngster? Or bald could be our answer. Youngster finally could be an R. And then a word for broke, and then the end of shoelace. Bald. Nope, I'll have to come back to that. 12 across is I cry for help protecting overdue quarantines. I cry for help. I'm not sure which side is going to be the definition. Could it be quarantines? Isolates? So yes. Cry for help, SOS. SOS is protecting, a synonym for overdue, late. And we get isolates, quarantines. 14 across, snowmobile inventor rudely robbed Irma or bribed Omar. Is rudely maybe an anagram indicator? We could take robbed Irma and treat it rudely, mix up the letters. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then why is bribed Omar? Probably, that's the same set of letters, isn't it? So we could either anagram robbed Irma or bribed Omar. I think that would be the same. And then we're going to get snowmobile inventor. A 10-letter word for a snowmobile inventor. I don't know. Is that a well-known person, the inventor of the snowmobile? 16 across, otherwise survive backed up water in Spain. Water in Spain is agua. Does that help? Otherwise, else. Survive, lived, live, backed up. I'm seeing a lot of 4-letter words in here, but none of them, I can't make sense of the wordplay. Otherwise could be else. Survive backed up could be evil, live spelled backwards, and then water in Spain is agua. I'm not sure what is going on there. 18 across, chemistry class topic is catching on. Maybe we're looking for a synonym of chemistry class topic and a synonym of catching on. Catching on fire? If something is fire, it is catching on, and that is something you would cover in a chemistry class, I think. Fire is a chemical reaction, I believe. I'm not sure about it, though. 19 across, to put it horribly, alas, Daphne doesn't leave things to chance. 10 letters again. Alas, Daphne, that is 10 letters. So could we be putting alas, Daphne horribly, anagramming alas, Daphne? Do we get doesn't leave things to chance? I think plans ahead uses all the letters from alas, Daphne, and that would not leave things to chance if you plan ahead. 21 across, vulgar girls almost set by the end of December. Constructions like girls almost, I think, tells us to find a synonym for girls and then remove the last letter. Put that by the end of December, the last letter of December, an R. Do we get an 8-letter word for vulgar? I'm not sure about that. Okay. Oh, I keep hitting that backslash key instead of delete. 22 across, turned petty, protecting a Peruvian herd. A, that letter A is probably going to be used in the wordplay, so maybe a synonym for petty, we reverse it we put an A in the middle of it because it's protecting it, and we get a Peruvian herd is the answer. What do they have herds of in Peru? Llamas. So petty could be small. So I think we spell small backwards and put an A in the middle of it. Yep, put maybe this one, S-M-A-L, and we get llamas. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. 26 across, correct me in wrap up. Correct me in wrap up. I think this is going to be, the wrap up of something is the end. We're going to put me in end, and we get amend, which is to edit or correct something. 27 across, hesitant sounds interrupting show from that point on. Hesitant sounds, I think, are us or ers, E-R-S, sounds of hesitation. That is going to interrupt a word for show. What is a two-word phrase that means from that point on? Thereafter. Theater could be show. Or is it hereafter? How do they spell theater in Canada? Is R-E or E-R? Theater, E-R. I feel like I've almost got it, but I maybe using the wrong words or something. 28 across, one doesn't have large burn. One doesn't have large. Large could be abbreviated by the letter L, small, medium, and large. So if we had a 6-letter word for one and removed the L, do we get a 5-letter word for burn? Single. One is single. We remove the L and we get singe, burn. 29 across, blast it, fort attacked, offering retaliation. 3, 3, and 3. Huh, interesting. Okay. Blast it. Could that be our definition? We're looking for like dynamite, something you blast. It has to be 3 words. Fort attacked. Are we anagramming fort and then inserting a synonym for retaliation? That's not clicking for me. One down, fearless bachelor party. Bachelor can be B or BA, bachelor's degree. Party could be a bash or gala. Certainly fearless or party is going to be our definition, our synonym. Fearless, brave. Bachelor is B, a party is a rave, and then we get brave as a synonym, a definition for fearless. 2 down, essentially post-grad adopts faint accent. Essentially sometimes means to take the middle of a word, so the center of the word post-grad is TG. It is going to adopt a synonym for faint, wan. I'm feeling wan and ashen. I'm going to faint from loss of blood. And then twang could be an accent, a country accent. 3 down, test extremely deficient forms about virtual assistant. Extremely often means to take the first and last letters of a word, so either the T and T from test or the D and T from deficient. It forms about virtual, maybe? Or we could have extremely deficient, D, T, forms about a virtual assistant like Alexa or something. We need two words, a kind of test, yeah, no, I feel like I'm close to getting that one, but not quite there. 4 down is, we can get there, exobiology organization developed ties. Okay, I got this one by thinking about what is exobiology, the study of alien life. What's an organization that does that? I happen to know. Search for extraterrestrial intelligence. And that is an anagram of ties. So developed is an anagram indicator for ties, and our definition is SETI as exobiology organization. 5 down, quietly get up around 1 with an, abandoning a certain French woman. A lot going here. Quietly can be P, like piano on a music score, or could be SH. Get up around 1 with an. So an, A-N-N-E, is probably going to be in here somewhere, maybe with a Roman numeral 1, an I. Abandoning A, so maybe we're taking the A from an out. Certain French woman, so probably looking for either the word for certain in French or a word for woman in French, or maybe a French name for a woman. Quietly get up. Not getting that. Femme, F-E-M-M-E, would be French woman in general. Does that help with anything? Or could it be, I'm thinking of trying to use that P for quietly, and that might get me Parisienne, a French woman from Paris, in French, Parisian. So that has an in it, A-N-N-E, quietly, get up, arise, around 1, with an abandoning A. N-N-E is an without the A. That gives us Parisienne. 6 down, 1 crushes soccer superstar boxing in street. Soccer superstar, maybe Pele. One crushes Pele boxing in street. No, it's not one crushes. It is Pele is boxing in, the abbreviation for street, ST, and we get pestle. A mortar and pestle is the what you use to grind up herbs and whatnot. 7 down, cross river current in both directions with piece of furniture. Cross, irate, irritate, something like that, angry. River could be letter R. Current in physics and science is symbolized by the letter I think. This might be that letter I that I've got highlighted in both directions with piece of furniture. And not sure about that. 8 down, eventually succeeds as keg is broken in humor. 5 and 4. Eventually succeeds, makes good, is my first thought for that. That has the letters from keg in it. Okay, so where are we getting the rest? Your humor is your mood, good humor, ill humor, and then we anagram as keg to get makes good. So as keg is broken inside, a synonym for humor. Mood, we get makes good. 13 down, teen endorsement cheering small cost. Not even. Nothing comes to mind there. 14 down, inability to see. Nonsense about backing ship with nothing. I think inability to see is blindness, which I think fits. Nonsense about, that could be reversing or backing ship with nothing. Nothing is probably letter O. Let me just see if blindness fits. It does, but I'm not getting any of the wordplay. Nonsense going around a word for ship spelled backwards, adding an O. Okay, is there another word for inability to see? And nonsense is rot. 15 down, frenzied male, supported by article with a black and white outlook. Article is usually the or an article in grammatical terms. So an is supporting a frenzied male. That could be an anagram of male but then we need to add with a black and white. A black and white outlook, is that something like plebeian or anti-plebeian, some kind of adjective that ends that? I'm not sure. 17 down, ring is for nymph who became a bear. Ring, to call someone on the phone is to ring them. Is the word is. If something is for someone, it could be to them, and we get Callisto, who I dimly remember might be a nymph who became a bear in Greek mythology. Callisto kind of came to mind when I saw became a bear, so and it happens to fit, so I think that's right. 20 down, some exec and leading light. Candle is a light. This is a hidden. I have trouble spotting these, but look at the words exec and leading. Some of that string of letters gives us C-A-N-D-L-E, candle, light. 23 down, recalled French name and French artist. All right, so here we are using our French. The word for name in French is nom. We recall that, spell it backwards, we get M-O-N. The word for and in French is E-T, so we add and French, and we get Monet, who was an artist. 24 down, in college entrance, we show nervousness in a way. We show nervousness in a way. Not sure. 25 down, unfinished Starbucks selection, let off steam. Starbucks selection is, I think that's our word. Starting there, we're taking off the last letter, and we get a 4-letter word for it, let off steam. So is it like latte or venti is to vent. Yeah, so you might select a venti at Starbucks, remove the last letter, we get vent, to let off steam. All right, that's all of the clues looked at once. Let's see if we can figure it out from the crossing letters here. Reflected in various pubs, batters up. That fits. We've got pubs there. I don't think that's right. But let's leave the letters in and see if maybe some of them are correct. Scream is shriek. One escapes shriek, and we get Shrek, an ogre. Okay, the crossing letters really helped there. Bald youngster finally broke end of shoelace. An eaglet is a young bald eagle, so that's our bald youngster. Finally, oh, okay, finally broke is the letter E, and then we put aglet for the end of shoelace. We did need to know aglet for that one, okay. 16 across we can probably get with an O at the end. Otherwise, survive. Backed up water in Spain. Ebro is a river in Spain, so that could be water in Spain. Otherwise, or survive, be, not live, but be, back up or be, and we get Ebro, the water in Spain, the river in Spain. I think that might be fire. 21 across is vulgar, I think. Hesitant sounds, ers. Ever since means from that point on. What's the word play here? Ers are interrupting events. To evince something is to demonstrate it, to show it. Yes. 24 down, we show nervousness. Fort attacked. Maybe we're anagramming fort attacked. Is that 9 letters? 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's more than 5. No. 3 down. Extremely deficient. Forms about virtual assistant. Test could be exam. Alexa is a virtual assistant. Or Siri? No. Cross is irritable. Okay, I was kind of thinking of that, but couldn't make it long enough. Table is a piece of furniture. I think river current is RI, but in both directions. So we're palindroming it and making it IRRI. Then we get table for irritable. Inability to see. Snowmobile inventor. Let's try fire and see if it's right. Vulgar girls, almost set by the end of December. Vulgar. A black and white, could that be an Oreo or a police car in the US are often called black and whites? What is, I feel like with a black and white outlook, I feel like that is our definition. So this is male supported by an, with a 3-letter synonym for frenzied. Male could also mean, what's a synonym for male? Man. But we need this E. With a black and white outlook. Literal or... All right, it's about time to start considering a hint. I'd like to get the videos in under 30 minutes. We need to anagram robbed Irma. Or we can also, or we could anagram bribed Omar. Snowmobile inventor. Remember, this is a Canadian puzzle. Maybe the inventor of the snowmobile is a very well-known historical figure in Canada. I certainly don't know the name, though. I think inability to see. Is our definition there. All right, where should I use a hint? Let's try this one, because I don't think I'm going to get this, even with a lot of crossing letters. Let's reveal the word. Oh, Bombardier. That is I know them as an airplane manufacturing company. They probably make snowmobiles as well. Maybe they made the first snowmobile. Okay, yeah, this is probably one of the rare instances where the Canadianness of the puzzle works against me. Okay, inability to see. Oh, I like blindness again. Could nonsense be bliss? I don't think so. What about here? Does this A help? Test. Some kind of exam. That gives us Alexa. Is it an oral exam? Yeah, I don't like batters up. Oral exam could be test. Extremely deficient forms. Okay, the extremes of forms are missing, so forms is becoming deficient in terms of not having its ends, and we get OR, well, that would be ORM. Yeah, ORM goes about Alexa, and we get oral exam for test. Okay, so what is this? Bottoms up. Ah, that is a saying, and you would hear it in various pubs, so we're not using any anagrams or anything. It is, I think that's maybe what the exclamation point means. It means we're not using any wordplay. This is just a straight, this could be a real, like a New York Times crossword definition, saying heard in various pubs maybe, but yeah, reflected works. Okay, bottoms up. Okay, I like that. Bombardier, I don't know how that's pronounced. Teen endorsement. Is it something like, something a teen might say, like, I don't know, rad is probably not something teens say anymore. Small cost. Vulgar. An inability to see. I think this is going to be the most useful. Let's try. Blindness is really the only thing I can see there, but I don't understand the wordplay. It is blindness. That's inability to see. Nonsense, could that be bliss? Going around. Backing ship. With nothing. Can nothing be abbreviated as N? I don't think it can. I think this is probably one of those things where once, after I watch the video, after I finish it, it'll come to me what that means. Or let me know in the comments if you understand the wordplay of that. That was my first guess, blindness, just from inability to see. So maybe I should have put that in and see if that worked. Then I wouldn't have put in fire. Iron. Could that be a chemistry class topic? Catching on. No, is. The word is catching the word on. And we get ions, which is a chemistry class topic. So is this maybe monochromatic or something like that? With a black and white outlook. Or Manichaean. As a philosophy, as a religious tradition, I think that is a good and evil, black and white outlook kind of thing. So Manichaean could be describing a black and white outlook that has manic. Manic is frenzied, male is he, supported by the article an, which is the only part of the wordplay I understood to begin with, and we get Manichaean for a black and white outlook. Vulgar, or is it the end of December, New Year's Eve or something like that? Nope. Teen endorsement during small cost. A couple more letters, I probably get that, just figuring out the 3, 3, and 3. We show nervousness. Show nervousness in a way is to sweat. We, in college entrance is the SAT exam. We put we into SAT and we get sweat to show nervousness. So blast it or offering retaliation, tit for tat is retaliation. I thought I could get it with just another letter. So blast it fort. Here's it fort, and then okay, this is another hidden. We begin with the last T in blast, tit for tat. We get it with the third T in attacked, or the second T in attacked. All right, there we go. So 2 more to go. Teen endorsement, or small cost, or cost. Adolescent is a teen. Endorsement. Ad is an endorsement, maybe. Cheering. Small cost could be a cent. Small. I'm not sure about the wordplay there either. And am I spelling it wrong? Déclassé is vulgar. And that was it. And I don't understand the wordplay of déclassé. Let's see. There we go. Vulgar. Girls almost. Lasses. Almost. Oh, go back. It's lasses next to December. The end of... That's not the end of December. It's just an abbreviation for December. Okay, well, I'm going to have to look at that wordplay again. All right, I will go back and rewatch this and try and figure out the wordplay of the ones I couldn't get. Figure out how many hints I had to use. I think I revealed bombardier, and I revealed blindness. Did I get any of the others? I don't remember if I revealed any others. I think I figured out sweat, which gave me tit for tat. That gave me adolescent. Ions I originally got from is and on. And then déclassé, once I took that R out from the S with adolescent. I think I got those from that. All right. Let me know how you did with this one and about your experience with Cryptic Crosswords. And I appreciate you joining me. Please come back for more puzzles and games. I'll see you next time.